The Oracle of Luna is a podcast with me, Bridget Engels, as your host. Here we have conversations with real live, present-day goddesses who are actively and courageously doing their magical work in the world. Each episode is a bewitching journey with relevant discussions on topics such as Wiccan pagan spirituality, writing, culture, magical practices, art, ritual, and the craft in its many forms. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Oracle of Luna. Today, I have an exciting and wonderful guest. Her name is Marion Brigantia. Marion is a priestess and teacher of Brighde-Brigantia in Glastonbury and Avalon. Welcome, Marion.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so exciting to have you here because this is the season of Imbolc and the goddess Brigid, and you are a priestess, devotee of Brigid for a long time. So I'd be really curious to hear about your background and your journey and all your teachings.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of questions. Yeah.
So Marion, how did this all begin for you? How did your goddess spiritual journey begin?
Well, my goddess spiritual journey began really very young age, and then in that age, I was very into the magic. I was into a lot of people have that into fairies and witches, and I was really fascinated. I always got books about fairies and witches and living in the forest and all that kind of thing. And then, kind of in my teenage years until my really mid 30s, I kind of went into a more regular spirituality. So I became part of a youth choir in the church, a Catholic church, very modern and actually hippie with the whole band, with the drum set and guitars and all that. Anyway, so I was very involved with that, and then I even the pastoral school kind of became a lay priest as far as you can do that as a woman in the Catholic Church.
And what country were you in at that time?
In the Netherlands. So the Netherlands had quite progressive Catholics groups.
Okay.
And yeah, so I was actually on the parapet preaching. So I think it was always there. I think that the spiritual was there, but of course you can't do anything like that. You can become a nun, but that was really not my calling. And so then I got an accident, not very serious, but I had to lay down for 6 weeks, and then I started to read books about druids again and witches, but then in the modern age, not as fairy tales.
Right.
And from there really became my journey started to become more into the pagan the pagan sides. And for me it was just really a complete I made it complete, because you had the Catholic Church, which is in my upbringing not very dogmatic, but not very earth-based, and then you had the earth-based, which I love, nature.
Yes.
Right. And so that whole nature part, especially, that was really attractive to me. And then in 2003 I went to that's 20 years now this year. That's interesting. I just realized that. I went to the Goddess Conference in Glastonbury.
Okay.
And there I really was like, and I describe that sometimes as like a Harry Potter moment. There's like suddenly you realize there's loads of people who do this, who work with goddess, who are witches, who are druids. And that was it. I was really drawn into it. and I started my priestess training that same autumn.
In Glastonbury?
No, in the Netherlands actually, but
Oh,
with the Priestess of Avalon.
okay.
But and the good thing of that was that you learn a lot about your own country and the sacred places of your own country where I lived then, still not anymore, but which was things I never been to, even quite close to me, to to rediscover and to connect that with your spiritual path. It was beautiful actually.
Hmm. Hmm. So what inspired you to connect with the goddess Brigid?
Well, that was actually happened during that for the first year of the training. So, in our spirituality, in our tradition, I would almost say, we work with the wheel of life. So you come to the different seasonal festivals.
Right, the
So
Sabbats. Mm-hmm.
yeah, the Sabbats you would call them. Yeah, yeah. And so when we came in bulk, we were working with the goddess Bridget in my training, and yeah, it's interesting because there's so many intellectual reasons why I connect with Bridget and how how we are kind of on the same path almost. But it wasn't just that. It was like falling in love. Really, I say that. It was like so much recognition and yeah,
Resonance. It sounds like you.
resonance. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was really like falling in love. It was like,
Hmm.
wow, she's the one kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. So we know that you went to Glastonbury and you went to the Goddess Conference, and it's still going on, right? The
Well, yes.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is, and actually, together with my friend Katinka, I'm now the co-organizer of the Glastonbury Goddess Conference.
Right, right.
So it's like 20 years later. Well, a bit longer. We've been doing it since 2017. We've taken it over from Kathy Jones.
Ah, that's wonderful, and it's so much. Glastonbury is so central to the goddess movement, especially in the UK. Um,
Yes, yes, it is. It is definitely a place where uh, kind of really brought it up again. But it's really spreading. There are goddess temples in Oxford and Sheffield, and uh,
oh,
yeah, they're all over the place.
oh,
So
that's great. I didn't know that.
yeah,
Yeah,
so it's really yeah. Well,
it's a
people,
revival.
sorry.
It's a revival, goddess
Yes,
revival.
yes, no, it is definitely, and everywhere, also in the Netherlands, because when I moved away from the Netherlands, I really did that to become a full-time priestess because I was, in my former job, I was a lawyer, and I
Oh,
was already a priestess, and I worked in the goddess temple in the Netherlands in Hillegom, but I really want to be full-time priestess. That it is really my vocation. And
yes.
so I thought if I go to Glastonbury, there's a chance that could work. And
Yeah, and you could live as a priestess there.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. So, why is the land around Glastonbury significant to the goddess Brigid? I know she's, in Ireland, she's very, her presence is very known and felt, but
Mm.
also in Glastonbury.
Yes, yes, definitely. And interestingly, I was interviewed by the RTE, that is the Irish National Television. Because in Ireland they have now made Saint Brigid Day a national day. That every
Yay!
yeah, I know it's great.
That's
So
exciting.
I know
Wow.
it's wonderful. So they came to because in Ireland the emphasis is more on the saint on Saint Bridget,
Yeah.
and so they came and found me somehow to kind of find the goddess Bridget. And they didn't do that in their own land, which is interesting because
That is interesting.
they're everywhere and all the myths and the stories and everything. But they came to Glastonbury, which was nice because I could be part of that documentary, and yeah, to find her here. So
What's the name of the documentary?
Finding Bridget.
Okay, so our listeners out there can find it, Finding Bridget, Bridget, on YouTube or.
It is the RTE has like an iPlayer kind of online streaming service,
Oh, okay.
and it's also they also put it on Vimeo,
Oh,
so
Vimeo. Oh, okay, okay,
it should be on there. I don't think they have put it on YouTube yet. So
okay.
yeah, so yeah, it was interesting that they came here. So in Glastonbury, we have also got the goddess and the saints. It's because in Glastonbury, I don't know if you know this, but it's like you have a very strong pagan community, but there's also a very Christian story with the abbey, with Glastonbury Abbey and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you have stories of Saint Bridget and of the goddess Bridget. And the goddess Bridget you find really in the land. And the Isle of Avalon has the shape of a swan, and the swan is not specifically to Bridget, but to the Celtic people, and therefore to Bridget as well. It's a sacred animal of her, and so her island has the shape of her main bird. You know, you have other birds
Hmm.
connected with her as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's is interesting in itself. And then we have Bride's Mount, which is one of the 7 isles of Avalon. It's not as high as the Tor, not at all as high as the Tor, but it's still a significant mount.
It's sacred to Bridget.
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely.
And
So
Bridget, by the way, to the listeners, there's so many names and attributes, but she's known by Brigantia, Bridie, Brigid,
Bride.
Bride, Bridget.
In the north of England, especially in Yorkshire, she is very much known as Bride, and you have in Yorkshire two like sites where there are bright stones that are dedicated to her.
And sacred wells, right?
All sacred wells all over the place. Yes,
Yeah.
and yeah, and churches. Then it's Saint Bridget again. It's interesting. I in the documentary I talk about that as well. Is that there's so much of the goddess has lived on in the stories of the saint, and that's I think that's one of the things why Bridget is so accessible for people,
Yeah.
because there are so many stories that are there for her, and whether I mean there is being Christianized, but you can still find the roots of the stories, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and just a little bit about Goddess Bridget. She was a Celtic triple goddess, patroness of fire, healing, holy wells, smithcraft, poetry, midwifing, a queen, a saint, a druid. What are some other attributes, just for our listeners?
Well, it's interesting because I always teach when I teach my students, I say that the Bridget or Brig, where it comes from, the name, originally was more a title. And it means the light one, the shining one, the high one, the exalted one. So it was more a title for goddess.
Oh, okay.
And then later it became a name of a goddess, you know, so it was kind of
I see.
became more materialized almost. And therefore, there are so many attributes to Bridget, because if she's
Yes.
a great goddess to the Celtic people, which she was, so if she's the great goddess, then kind of all of life are her attributes. But yeah, the things that you named were definitely there. I see her. I work in the training as a goddess works with 5 fires. That's
Yes, fire is her element for sure.
fire and water are her strongest
Yeah.
elements,
Yes.
and then with the other elements, earth with her um,
Mm-hmm.
green mantle of protection, the green mantle of fertility, um, and then you have, of course, the air, which is
Mm-hmm.
her breath and breath of life. So actually, all elements are part of realm.
Yeah, and part of the connection. I always think of her connection of fire of the mind, fire of the body, fire of the spirit, fire of the inner world, the outer world,
Yeah,
all,
yeah, yeah. No,
everything.
it is, and we work, especially in the Bridget training. We work especially with your connection, your own connection, your inner flame, your inner fire, and how to work with that. So,
Yeah.
as I said, I work with five fires. It's the three traditional fires of alchemy or smithcraft, of healing, and of inspiration. But there's
Mm-hmm.
also the fire of empowerment and the fire of true speak and sovereignty. So
Yeah.
yeah. So the yeah.
Ah,
As I said, I teach a 3-year training, so
yes.
there's a lot to
Yeah. And
and a lot.
about your training, it's starting now, right? You're currently
Yeah,
doing trainings. Okay.
yes, yeah, yeah. It started. Yeah, so to say there's well, there's actually 4 years. There's the 1 and 2 of the priestess training or the priest, or that's is also for men.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And then the second year, the 1 and 2, and then you have the Brigantia year where we work especially with the land, but also with the other worlds, and with the
Mm.
labyrinth. And then you have the five fires. We work really more psychologically, almost with how you work with the five fires within and without.
Ooh. Ooh, I
Yes,
love that.
there's a lot. There's a lot
Yes.
to
And
cover.
it sounds like it takes a lot of commitment for the people who, are involved in these trainings.
Yes, yeah, it's I also do like an intro course, which is a little bit less commitment. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to kind of explore just the beginning of how to
Yeah.
relate to her. But
Ah. So
yeah,
how can
that's not commitment.
are these online trainings or do you have to be in Glastonbury?
There are 3 online trainings. Is that true? No, 2 online trainings and 2 in-person trainings.
Okay.
No, there's 3. No, no, no. The first year is also you can do online correspondence, and then the five fires is online, and the Brigantia year is online as well. But
Okay.
you have had to do the first year at least to do the Brigantia year because you need to have a little bit of background.
Sure.
So yeah, yeah,
Yeah. There's so much to learn about Bridget and to become a priestess.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of training. It's a lot of devotion and time and spiritual connection. So some of my listeners, I'm just curious, just for their sake, how can they connect with Bridget or Brighde or Brigantia wherever they are in the world? Is there some simple way that they can connect to
Well, it
Bridget?
is. I think, as you say, the fire is the easiest way to connect. It is really when we light a fire, when we light a fire or a candle, even, that is an immediate connection to Bridget. So you don't have to do anything big, really. But if you light a fire or a candle and you pray to her, and we do that a lot, but there are several groups actually online, on Facebook, who are flame keepers. So the flame keeper tradition comes from Kildare, from Ireland, where there is a eternal, perpetual flame. And with that flame, so everybody holds that flame, and that's the tradition that 19 priestesses or later 19 nuns would hold the flame alight and with prayers and be present with the flame. And then on the 20th day, Bridget herself would hold the flame. So, so
Yes, that
this is
Kildare is a interesting place and very ancient. It was used to be a goddess temple, right? Or a Celtic pagan temple before the church was built on it.
yeah. So the well, I don't know if there was an actual temple, but we know that there was a fire held
Yeah,
in the name of Bridget, and,
right.
and that was held by the daughters of the flame. So they were priestesses.
And then the nuns carried on the tradition in Christian times.
Yeah, exactly. So and as I said, if anybody wants to do anything for Bridget, if you look on Facebook, there are several groups that do this flame keeping practice. And then when you have the flame, when you hold the flame, that's mostly for 24 hours. Then you imbue it with prayer and sending out light and love to the world.
Yeah. And also, Bridget is known for her healing attributes.
Yes, definitely. So the one of the things is that we do a lot of healing prayers, sending out through the flame, and in the training as well. There is a special Bridget healing module that we do as well. That we work with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um, I love that. And it's just so powerful. And I was going to ask you how Goddess Bridget is relevant in 2023, but there's so many ways
Well,
she
I
is.
think there are so many ways. I think one of the things she had, well, that's the maybe two things, especially in the times that we live in now. So she was known both as goddess and as saint, as an energy of peace. So she was always trying in the goddess stories and mythology. There is a lot that she wanted to have peace between the two the fairy folk that she worked with, the Tuatha and the Fomoy. I don't know if if I say that right. So to make peace between those two races, really, and also as a saint, she put herself forward for peace, for women's rights, and yeah, so and for
Wow.
hospitality. And I think this is also one thing that is very.
Yeah.
She was very much about sharing what you have, sharing the wealth, so that everybody had enough.
It
Uh,
sounds like she was uniting people and
yes,
had a great energy of an inclusion
yes, she had.
about her.
Yeah, definitely. She was very inclusive in all ways. Like her well, so this is where saint saint and goddess go hand in hand.
Yes.
So in her monastery, so I kind of feel that the Saint Bridget, of course, who was just a woman, the
And she
saint.
was an actual saint, right? For
Oh
sure.
yeah, but
Okay.
the sainthood was much later, of course. And so you only become a saint when you're already years, sometimes more
Yeah.
than that.
But
Anyway,
that means she was an actual woman.
yes, she was an actual woman called Bridget, probably called, given her name after the goddess, because there's so many, like you yourself. There's
Yeah.
so many people who,
We're
uh,
born with the name.
yeah, exactly. So, but she really put herself forward to for inclusion. She had a monastery which had both men and women in.
Hmm.
So it was, yeah, she's always very been very inclusive. Yes.
Yeah. So how did her story end? I mean, obviously she as a person, she would have died and then but her sainthood, she was canonized later
Yeah.
by the Catholic Church. And then what happened? Did the abbey get did the abbey get destroyed? I forget the what happened there in Kildare.
I don't know exactly what happens, but the only thing that I really know is that the tradition after her death of holding the flame alight, that
Yes.
carried on, and that carried on for years and years and years. And again, I think it's the Reformation that stopped that, and then
Right.
was
King
taken
Henry
up.
VIII, right?
Yeah, and well, yeah, my English history is not so good being Dutch, but yeah, then later in the 90s, it was picked up again by the Brigidine sisters,
Oh.
who now have a center, a solar breed in Kildare, which is beautiful, and they hold the perpetual flame there alight, and you can go
Oh.
there to receive a blessing and yeah, to be with them and to be with the flame. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, their center is actually built in the shape of a Bridget cross, which is cool.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I definitely want to go there.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
uh,
beautiful. There's also a wonderful. There's an old well, and then there's the new well with the statue of Bridget as well.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh, so many beautiful. sacred sites. And also, you give sacred tours. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. One thing to be a priestess. It all sounds very romantic, but it's hard work, and I don't mind hard work. It's also really what I love to do. So I do the teachings, the Goddess Conference. We have the Temple of Avalon here in Glastonbury that we run. And then I do tours. Yeah, I do tours on the land here, and to places like Stonehenge and Avebury and Tintagel and all that. Yeah.
Mm. Um, so tell us about the upcoming Goddess Conference. When is that?
Yeah, the Goddess Conference is the 1st to the 6th of August this year. And this year we have as a theme, we have the crone as Lady of the Other Worlds. And so we had a cycle of 5 years, which then was interrupted by COVID, and then we had a in between year because we had to kind of recover from that. So we had the Moon Maiden, the Sun Lover, Earth Mother, Star Queen, and now Otherworld Crone. So this is the last of the cycle of five. And yeah, so it's going to be beautiful, and we have beautiful speakers. I don't know. Yeah, you probably know Starhawk, of course.
Yeah. And so many others are joining this year. And I'm just kind of looking on Instagram, all the wonderful posts. And I was going to ask, can anybody attend, or do you have to have special invitation?
No, anybody can attend. Yeah, everybody can come, and yeah, it's a ticketed event. It's 6 days, so it's full on. But you can also buy. Well, they are coming on the website in March. You can also buy weekend tickets, and you can buy day tickets, which will come available at Beltane.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but it's 6 days full of ceremony and
Oh,
talks and workshops and dance and singing
uh,
on the land. And yeah, it's really the highlight of the year,
yeah.
really. And it's a
Yeah.
beautiful place to really be a priestess or a priest of goddess and to celebrate goddess. And
Absolutely. And there's a sense of purity there. I mean, I went several years ago and it was kind of a quick stop for me because I was traveling a lot of countries, but just the sense of purity and love felt there is, I don't know,
yeah.
I'll never forget it.
No, we make the town hall, which is normally like a big function room. We kind of raise a temple. We have a huge pop-up temple there, and full of beauty and yeah, color, and yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. So, in the interest of time here, Marion is going to give us a short blessing. But before we do that and depart here, Marion, where can people find you? Do you have a website or social media that people can learn more about you?
Yeah, I'm on social media, on Facebook and Instagram as Marion Brigantia or Priestess Marion Brigantia. And my website is also marionbrigantia.com. And then, yeah, that's the best place to start if you want
Yeah,
to find me.
yeah.
Because I can say, the Goddess Conference obviously has their own website, the Temple of Avalon and the Mystical Earth Tours also have their own websites. But yeah, if you go to my website, there are links to all of that as well.
And we can find out more about your Brigantia Brigid trainings and
Yes,
teachings.
there's a whole part of my page that is dedicated to the Brigid work.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you. And
Right.
so we have a few more minutes before we leave. And Brigantia, I'm sorry, Marion Brigantia,
Very brilliant, yeah.
will invoke Bridget or give us a short little blessing before we leave.
So you can't see me, but maybe you can hear me.
Yes.
I'm going to light a candle.
Okay. And I've already lit my candle here. I have a little orange votive that I've lit.
Yeah, I've got an orange candle here as well. the color of the fire. So I hear my match. Okay, so we say when we light the candle, we say heart to heart, flame to flame. Bridget, I invoke your name every day and every night, in the dark and in the light. Bridget, I invoke your name, heart to heart, flame to flame. And then I would like to ask you to just connect with that light, that fire, that flame within you. Wherever that can be, it could be in your heart, could be in your solar plexus, could be in your throat, your head, your womb. Just let that fire that we have just lit for Bridget connect with that inner flame. And just see that spreading out into your body, filling you with light, with warmth, with inspiration. And may the light and the fire of Bridget inspire you and guide you. May it keep you warm and nourished. May it bring you the transformation that you need in your life right now. And may it be a shining light in your life. Because her light shines in the darkness, and the darkness shall not overcome it. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Thank you so much, Marion. That was lovely. Yeah, I really felt that and feel the warmth of Bridget and her flame.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
As I said,
thank you.
it's sometimes it's as easy as actually lighting the candle.
Yeah, I felt like I went on a little journey there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you again. Really enjoyed speaking with you and learning about your past and your teachings and Bridget. And I wish you all the luck in your and good fortune in your future endeavors. And maybe we'll see each other in Glastonbury.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Really lovely
Yeah.
to see you.
All right. Blessed be everybody. And um, thank you again. And until next time, signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye.